If you've ever found yourself pushing against something you're experiencing, if you find yourself fighting what you're experiencing, maybe it's the job that you hate, maybe it's the tiredness that you're always feeling, maybe it's a situation that seems impossible or inescapable, and you're fighting what is. You're saying to yourself this shouldn't be. You're thinking, why is this happening to me? You're just fighting it and not liking it. So if that's happening, and that happens to all of us, there's a different approach that you can take, because when you fight what you think is or what's happening, then you're fighting something that you think is real and permanent. And in reality, nothing is permanent and nothing is really real. The only thing that exists is this present moment. And there's an amazing quote from Sailor Bob Adamson, who's written books on non duality. And he says, what's wrong with right now if you don't think about it? So, if you eliminate thoughts, if you eliminate the mind chatter from the equation, and if you think about fighting with what is, fighting against whatever injustice or whatever is happening to you or you think is happening to you, if you try to do it without thinking about it, it's impossible. And the reason is because we need thoughts. We need to generate thoughts in opposition to what is in order to fight it. And firstly, the thing that is only exists because we keep thinking about it. And if we don't think about it, then it not only will um, just melt away from our lives without any effort on our part, it, it's like the observer effect. What you observe becomes real in your reality. And the more you think about something, the more real it is. What you focus on increases. So I'm not saying to just abandon any um, thoughts that you have and just sit in meditation all day. Of course, you're going to have thoughts. You're going to have parts of your day where you may experience something. Maybe you stub your toe and you become aggravated. But that's natural and it's normal. But what I'm saying is begin to notice those situations where you're fighting with yourself, where you're having those conversations in your head. Maybe it's an argument that you're planning to have with somebody else later. Maybe it's thinking about an argument that you had with somebody in the past. Maybe it's something that you could completely let go and you could completely avoid any further suffering, any further fighting with what you think is. And when you begin to do this, when you begin to notice, okay, I'm beginning to create a whole environment within my mind of situations, of things that really don't exist except in my mind, then you can begin to do something about it. You can think, well, do I really want to continue along this train of thought? Is it going to benefit me? Is there any purpose to this? Or am I better off dropping it? And 100% of the time, the answer will probably be you're better off dropping it. And if it's something that you're enjoying, if you've a train of thought about something that's pleasing you, then by all means continue with that, but only as long as it is pleasing you and it's producing happiness and it feels good. But the other side is if you're continuing down a train of thought that's bringing up fear or bringing up anxiety or bringing up emotions that are suffering related, then really you will be better off allowing those thoughts to drop away. Now, I know what you're all going to be saying is, how do I drop the thoughts? The thoughts just don't go away. They keep coming and they come, it's like a train, it keeps coming one after another. So if that's the case, you can begin to observe the thoughts without engaging with them. Allow the thoughts to be there, and notice them as they come. And then I think it was Eckhart Tolle who mentioned this first in the book The Power of Now. And he was saying that welcome it and just say, what else? So you welcome the thought and you say, okay, I recognize that thought. What else? So you drop it and they say, what else? And you're kind of expanding your awareness and you're allowing whatever else to come in that wants to come in. You're not pushing it away, you're not resisting it, you're allowing everything. But the moment you've noticed it, the moment that you become aware of it, you say, what else? You drop it and then allow yourself to see if there's anything else. And it's really effective because when you say, what else? Your mind clears for a moment as you observe your environment and you think, well, what else is there? And every time something new comes up, you say, okay, that's another thing. What else? And it's a little bit like at the start, what I was saying about Sailor Bob when he says, if you don't think about it, what's wrong with right now? And when you're saying what else, you're really just allowing that space. And when you say what's wrong with it right now when you don't think about it, same thing, you're allowing that space just to let a little bit of space in between the constant barrage of thoughts and worries that are coming up. So if you find yourself fighting with what seemingly is, ask yourself, am I creating this? And if that's the case, and it's always the case, then I can also dissolve it by dissolving the thoughts around it. So I hope you find this helpful. If you want to ask me a question, leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer.